Hello, everyone. My name is Ann Wynn, and I am a student in 5850 Curriculum Leadership. And I'm going to give you an overview about a positive impact and students' learning and development at my school. My school overview, I work at Wilson's Mills Elementary. It is a Title I school located in rural Johnston County. It houses a widely diverse population of 550 students. Student demographics, we are 1% Asian, 19% white, 54% Hispanic, 20% Black, with 82% economically disadvantaged students and families. Our staff demographics, we do have 46 certified staff members. 88% of those are experienced, 12 are national board certified, 42 female teachers, and 4 male teachers. The school mission is that there will be a daily commitment to effective instruction, meaningful collaboration, and continuous improvement so every student can succeed. The school's vision is that 100% of students will be proficient in reading, math, and science. We do have a set of core values. Those include relationships, respect, accountability, collaboration, dedication, shared responsibility, alignment, and consistency. And the idea is that these core values all work together to achieve the vision and mission of the school, and with the expectation that teachers uphold these core values just as the students do. Through my data collection, I did have some qualitative and quantitative data. I looked at the teacher working conditions survey that represents my school compared to the district, compared to the state. I conducted teacher surveys, teacher questionnaires. I collected data based off of student assessments, such as the EOGs, MAP, and our check-ins. And then I looked at the master schedule to see where some gaps were that influenced some of the things that were sent back from the teachers and from the data from assessments. Through my data analysis, specifically looking at the EOGs, there was a significant decline in proficiency rates in the grades 3 through 5 over the last several years. For example, in 2023, only 47.8% of students were proficient in reading. In 2024, it dropped to 44.8%, and in 2025, it dropped even further to 42.4%. Looking at the MAP reading assessment, I broke it down a little bit further. Fourth grade proficiency dropped 62% to 53%, and fifth grade proficiency dropped 67% to 52%. Now, in this time, third grade didn't take MAP reading. One of those years was reflected off of the COVID year, so they didn't do MAP in third grade that first year back. And the curriculum that we use is HMH into reading, and that's been used for the past 5 years. And as far as I know, it's still being used, and they haven't, or they don't have plans to adopt a new curriculum just yet. So I think we have another 2 or 3 years with HMH. And so that's where my research focus came into, because we've been using the same curriculum for the past 5 years and are going to continue to use it. What's happening between the curriculum and the teaching, and why are our rates dropping? So for that reason, my research focus was reading for grades 3, 4, and 5 to determine if HMH into reading provides adequate instructional strategies that align with the North Carolina Standard Course of Study, as well as the proficiency scales and the school's overall mission and vision for student proficiency, with a critical stake in the students with disabilities subgroup. Because looking deeper into the data, the disabilities group, the students with disabilities subgroup, is the group that has dropped the lowest in a continuous decline. Some recommendations for improvement. One is weekly collaborative planning with EC teachers. in the area of reading, and that will benefit all teachers in understanding the specific needs of the students with disabilities based on their IEPs and identifying strategies to support students with various disabilities within the classroom. So making sure that we are on the same page as the EC teachers so that we're all working for the common goal in the vision and mission of the school. Another one is Universal Design for Learning, which is a professional development for all teachers that will enhance the understanding of the whole child and how to provide a learning environment with limited barriers that provides individuality and academic success for students. We have had a couple of teachers take this training, but it hasn't gone beyond that. There hasn't been a build-up for capacity for other teachers. So that's one thing that I would like to see pushed forward. Now that we have teachers who have done the training, now let's get everybody on board because it's got some really amazing things happening there. A third one is within the PLC agenda, where the 4 essential questions of the PLC occur, specifically including a section and time frame devoted to the students with disabilities subgroup to ensure consistent and continuous monitoring of the SMART goals. In that agenda, there has to be a SMART goal that attains to the students with disabilities subgroup. Those are the students that we are targeting, the students that we're monitoring, and the students that really need the push. And we have to be consistent in talking about those students. Teachers need to participate in professional development on how to write SMART goals and the process of following through with monitoring and adjusting the SMART goals. And that goes back to the agenda. If we don't know how to write the SMART goals, how are we going to write them? How do we expect our teachers to write the SMART goals without knowing how to write them? And then following through. A lot of times we make fantastic goals, but we don't follow through with the goals. And then having that planning time to unpack the reading standards and identify the gaps in the pacing guide and resources to address the gaps. I know that happens sometimes in regular PLCs, but I think teachers need more time. I think having those half-day planning blocks are a great way to provide that time for them. And these are all research-based strategies. And each one of these strategies that I just discussed all align to the NC STAR. Collaborative planning aligns to A4.02. Universal design of learning aligns to A4.01 and A4.06. Professional development aligns to C2.01 and B3.04, and that PLC protocol aligns with B2.03 and A2.01. And all of those key indicators are found in NC STAR, and these are things that we should be working on anyway, but providing those specific outlines for how we can reach those goals, how we can align to what the school needs. And the NC STAR indicators support the overall mission and vision of the school. Speaking about the PLC agenda and protocol outline, I've put mine here. This is just a timeline of how this would roll out. We don't expect everything to happen overnight. Teachers have to learn it, apply it, reflect to see what needs to be changed. And this timeline just gives opportunity for professional development, usage of UDL, monitoring, clarifying. There's times for observations from administration, their peers, their colleagues, instructional rounds, and then coming back and having that half day of planning to be able to say this works, this doesn't work, and make adjustments as needed. We also have a sample of the agenda, what one agenda might look like. It has the roles for members. Every team member has a role. The purpose of the PLC. Every PLC should start with a purpose to know where they're going. It has those 4 questions that are a part of the PLC protocol. And then it outlines what are we doing in this PLC? What data are we looking at? The biggest change that I made in our PLC this year is putting that little spot for the subgroup. This is the subgroup that we're focused on. This is the SMART goal that we want for that subgroup. And making sure that we stay on pace. A lot of times teachers will get off pace and start talking about other things. but they have to remember they're here for this particular purpose. And meeting deadlines is a good way to have this protocol or agenda outline in place. It holds everybody accountable. And then, of course, we looked at the master schedule for third grade, fourth grade, and fifth grade specifically, because that's what I focused on, to see where we could fix some things. All three of these grade levels work in blocks. So it was more about looking within the block. It wasn't so much looking at the whole schedule, but looking at individual blocks of time for where we could make adjustments. And to be honest, the block schedule is fantastic. It's what's happening within the block and how we're utilizing our time and what activities are we doing to reach the kids. And utilizing the UDL activities, and we've done SciOp 2, which is a lot for our multilingual learners, which also carries over to students with disabilities. If we change how we teach the curriculum, we'll reach a few more kids than what we're doing right now. And that's all I have for you guys. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and have a great day.